Now, Zelensky arrived in Hiroshima. Remember, G7 is going on right now. I haven't reported on it. G7 is going on right now. That's where Joe Biden is. And that's where Ukrainian President Zelensky arrived Saturday in Japan for talks with leaders of the world's most powerful democracies. He did his personal appearance and is meant to galvanize global attention as the nations ratchet up pressure on Moscow for its 15-month invasion of Ukraine. Bolstering international support is a key priority. Okay, let me wet my whistle by drinking a little bit of water from the BCP podcast mug. Oh, you think I'm plugging my mug? No, I'm plugging this Kirkland water from Costco. You got my product placement wrong. I love you, folks. I love you so much because you love America. You love Jesus like I do. You love freedom. You love liberty. You love the Constitution. That makes us brothers and sisters, regardless of what you look like, what languages you speak at home, what your origin or ethnicity is, or your race, or which of the two genders you are. Because most likely if you... No, I shouldn't... Yeah, if you believe there's more than two genders, you probably aren't watching this show. If I could do anything, if I were king of the United States, of course, that's antithetical, right? I mean, we don't have kings. But if I were a king, boy, would I just I'd slash the federal government probably 70% within the first 90 days. And our lives would be better for it. But it's this big bureaucracy that allows Zelensky to go to G7 and shake down the Western world for more money. Listen to this quote. Japan, G7, important meetings with partners and friends of Ukraine, security and enhanced cooperation for our victory. Peace will become closer today. That's what Zelensky tweeted as he arrived. They are, by the way, the plane was provided by France. Host nation Japan said Zelensky's inclusion stems from his strong wish to participate in talks with blocs and other countries that will influence his nation's defense against Russia. He's shaking people down. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said that Joe Biden and Zelensky would have direct engagement at the summit. Oh, speaking of Jake Sullivan, we are now finding out that he served on a national security board with Hunter Biden for 2 years. For some reason, this is just now coming out. Hunter Biden and President Biden's National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, served together on the board of the Truman National Security Project, a liberal foreign policy think tank, for roughly 2 years before Sullivan joined the president's campaign in 2020. At least that's what I'm just now seeing in the news as of May 19th, 2023 on Fox News. Now, I've reported other malfeasance by Jake Sullivan, but this is what we're finding out. Hunter, who started serving on the board in 2012, and Sullivan both served on the Washington-based nonprofits board between 2017 and early 2019, according to the Internet Archives captured by the Wayback Machine. During that time, Hunter was also serving on the board of Ukrainian energy company Burisma and the Chinese private equity fund BHA Partners. The federal investigation into Hunter's foreign business dealings, which is still ongoing, also launched during the same time in 2018. Prior to joining the Truman National Security Project, Sullivan served as then Vice President Biden's national security advisor in the Obama administration, where he traveled to multiple countries with the elder Biden, including China. By the way, we also know that a video from the Obama administration's archive website shows that Sullivan was on the same infamous Asia trip where Hunter Biden and his daughter accompanied then Vice President Biden on Air Force Two, in which he talked to China and then ended up getting billions or millions of dollars. So they served on the Truman Project. Senator Hawley says Sullivan should resign immediately. Of course, that's not going to happen. That's yesterday's news. Seriously. And I'm sure if we had all the information, there's a lot more incestuous relationships. But anyway, here's more salt on the wound. Here's more pain to your teeth whitening dilemma and your shingles, or at least my shingles and my pain in paying taxes. The debt ceiling, don't worry about the debt ceiling. Biden is set to send another $375 million in weapons to Ukraine. That's right. He's reportedly set to announce another $375 million in weapons aid for Ukraine. This is being reported today by Breitbart and Politico. That's all. I don't want to give you any more details than that. Obviously, not an issue when it comes to money and Ukraine. Now, according to Kevin McCarthy, debt ceiling talks are on hold because the Biden team is being unreasonable. So the default is looming. Let it default. Let the whole damn thing fall apart. I don't care. If there's money to send for Ukraine, if there's money to put and house illegal aliens, then the government has way too much damn money as it is. Let the whole damn thing fall apart. I don't give a crap. We are days away from the U.S. government defaulting, and Joe Biden refuses to budge after House Republicans pass a resolution. Biden is refusing to negotiate with McCarthy, and McCarthy says that the debt ceiling talks are on pause. It's unclear when and if the negotiations will even resume. A reporter tried to ask Joe Biden about this today in Japan during the G7, and Joe Biden snapped at the reporter and told them to shush up. Can you imagine Trump doing that? Meanwhile, Biden is keeping Kamala Harris far away from the debt ceiling negotiations. The VP is attending a WNBA game. She's in California, where I currently am, with no public events scheduled. These people don't take our nation seriously. Why should they? They're not even duly elected by the people. Why should we think that they think that they're accountable to us? Have a great weekend, folks. Big hug to all of y'all. I'll be back on Monday. Ciao, goodbye. Big hug and God bless. And big hug to Anita, who I met today at an event, a public event having nothing to do with politics in California this morning. I was at the South OC Cars and Coffee, and